welcome to another WeAreDevelopers Tech Leaders video. We're here together with Atul Bhardwaj, CTO of MediaMarkt Saturn, well known as Europe's largest electronic or consumer electronic retailer, second largest one in the world. And Atul, thank you very much for having us today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So, Atul, you started in April this year at MediaMarkt Saturn. Before that, you were 17 years at Accenture.
Yes.
Quite a long time. And also 10 years as Group CIO at Tesco.
Yes.
So, of course, you're curious what inspired your move to MediaMarkt Saturn. What brought you here?
Yeah. So, So in my life, I've broadly done three things. I started my career with Accenture. I then did. I spent 10 years with Tesco. Did a number of things with Tesco, and then, as you say, in April I came here. I remember when I decided to come here, I had a choice. I could, as you can tell, I'm from the UK. I live in the UK still. I travel here every week, here into beautiful Ingolstadt. But when I joined the business, I had a choice. I had a choice between coming out my house and turning right and traveling 20 minutes and doing a role in the UK, or turning left every Monday morning, getting up at 5, getting on a plane and coming here. And I chose to come here, for a number of reasons. One of them is because I looked at the stores, I looked at what we have, and I thought this is a phenomenal business. We have some fantastic shops. We have about 1,000 stores around Europe. We're in 14 countries, so we're a big retailer. But I also chose to come here because of the transformation journey that we were on here. MediaMarkt Saturn as an organisation have realised that they have to transform, they have to change, but more importantly, they realised that technology is a key enabler of that transformation. As a business, they realised that technology is no longer a cost centre, it's a revenue generator, and therefore they have decided to put technology on the board. I'm the first board member for MediaMarkt Saturn as a technologist, because the technology conversation is such an important conversation for our business. The transformation journey we are on, every pillar of it requires technology to be to drive it forward. We are fundamentally rewriting all of our core systems. Moving on to cloud-based, API-driven modern tech stack. We're moving away from traditional IT teams to a product-centric team. So we've introduced 84 product teams into the organisation. And so for me, the excitement was the journey the business was on. The excitement was the transformation that the business was doing, and how technology was a big part of that transformation. And that's why I decided to come here.
Could you tell us what are your main priorities in the whole technology transformation journey that you're on?
Yeah, I think for me, when I look at, I talked about kind of doing technology the way modern organizations do it, doing technology the way I think technology should be done. For me, there are two facets to this. One is the relationship that exists between business and technology. In an old world, that relationship tends to be a bit more distant. And so you'll have the business team worrying about a whole bunch of operational issues, but writing a bunch of requirements for the tech team to then go and do something. But in the new world, you have business and technology working much closer together. There almost is no business as technology. There are product teams that develop products that then deliver value for our business. So we're on a journey to make these product teams effective. We're on a journey where there is no business in IT, there is just product. And so we start that journey, and that's kind of one side of it, and that's all about that relationship. And the other side then is the way we do technology. And so if we do technology using traditional methods where we have kind of manual testing, we have development and operations, we have all of these things that prevent us from iterating fast, it'll slow us down. So the other side is the way we do tech, and we are moving away from old style to new style, which means we are moving to cloud first, we are moving to DevOps, we are moving to automated pipelines, and we are moving to modern technology tooling. The transformation is huge, but it is around those two pillars. The relationship with the business, moving towards product teams, and then the way we do technology, moving towards modern technology methods. I mean, it's fascinating. If you go back 5 years, the general narrative was that it's all about online, and stores are dying. If you look at the narrative today, stores have become sexy, but it's also about online. And so what I see happening is the winners are those that will bring those two channels seamlessly together. Those that can bring together the physical and the digital in a seamless way are going to be the winners. Now the world is moving back to engineering. And so we are having to become an engineering-led organization because as technology becomes a revenue generator, not a cost center, we have to own the technology because that's our secret sauce, that's our IP, that's what makes us different to our competitors. And so the journey we're on is a journey of becoming engineers again. The journey we're on is a journey of becoming engineering-centric. And so therefore we are hiring and looking for engineers to come and help build things for us and build things in fascinating and new ways and solve problems. So for me, the pace of innovation, I mean, I think we'll innovate more in the next 6 months than we have done in the last 5 years, is constantly changing. We are replatforming our front-end website onto Google Cloud using React Node-based technology, modern tech stacks. We're building a brand new analytics platform, a data lake, using Python and Scala. We're changing our supply chain. We are using SAP there, but that's a good product for supply chain, so we're fundamentally transforming that. We're building a brand new point of sale using Spring Boot and Java. So we have a lot of technology skills that we're looking at here. We've been playing with artificial intelligence for the last 3 years. We have a couple of prototypes we've been doing. We have a chief innovation officer who's been leading the charge there. I think very soon we will have our first AI-driven use case running in our call center. We have a robot called Paul that runs around one of our stores. We're playing with robots. We've got cashierless going live in one of our stores. I think it's in Austria. So there's a lot we're doing around innovation. The job now is to take those things and scale them.
You are more grounded in the store network that you have.
Yeah.
So how do you connect this in-store data, these in-store interactions, with your own e-commerce platform?
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, you've hit the nub of the issue there, right? I mean, Amazon and Alibaba are awesome companies. They've done an awesome job filling a space in logistics and online and customer service. That's absolutely right. But they've come a certain way in their organizations. We've been awesome store operators, and now we're moving into the online space. Mm-hmm. So you see a convergence happening there. Amazon bought Whole Foods, they bought some stores. So they're now looking at, well, what do we need to do with our store estate, and what do stores mean to us as a business? We're looking at what does online mean to us as a business. In fact, we've been doing that for a number of years. We are the largest consumer electronics online retailer in Europe, so we have a big online business. And so what I see happening is the breaking down of these barriers. I think customers want to buy anything at any time, anywhere, and get it the way they want to get it, either in their home or in a store. And we have to facilitate that with technology. So we know what they want to buy, and we know where it is, and we can get it to them wherever they want it. Mm-hmm. And so the challenge for us is an architectural challenge, which is how do we make these two pillars that we've built up, stores and online, come together seamlessly. Mm-hmm. And that's the journey we're on.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is the role of the startup ecosystem in Germany, but also in general in Europe, in your innovation process here?
I think they have a really important role, because I don't have all the best ideas, yeah. Right? I mean, I have some, and we don't have all the best ideas. We need to create an ecosystem of partners who we work with, who bring ideas to us. Now imagine a world where I have an architecture with a bunch of internet-facing open APIs with the appropriate security, where I can then work with startups and partners to then build some very quick use cases, mm-hmm. which we can then test and learn, and then if we're happy with it, take out and make happen. I need the retail tech hub and the partner ecosystem for that to work, because we've worked with a number of partners already that brought some great ideas to us, and we will continue to do that. So I think it's very, very important that we work with people out there that have new and exciting ideas. I mean, if I think about kind of broadly what we're doing, there's a number of things. I mean, I've already mentioned that we are replatforming our front end. So we have a need for a lot of front end developers to come and help us do that. We're building an API framework. So we are building a whole bunch of APIs on our back end. So we need development there. We're putting in place a new order broker. So we're building a new mechanism for managing our orders through from the website through to fulfillment. We're putting in place a brand new supply chain backbone, including last mile. So we need people that can come and help us with that. We're centralizing our supply chain across the entire group, which means we're putting in place a brand new supply chain system. We're putting in place category management and space planning. And again, we're doing that from scratch. So we're putting in place new technology there as well. We're rewriting our point of sale. So we have a cross-channel basket, and that's a custom build. We need a new developer to go and help us do that. And we're building a data lake. And we're building a data lake on Google Tech. We're using Python. We're using Scala. We're using tech there to help us with manipulating data, building data cubes. And we're starting to think about what next. We're starting to think about voice, where are we going to put voice in and how do we use it? We're starting to think about AI. We're starting to think about IoT. They're not there yet, but we're starting to think about these. They'll be there very soon. So there's a lot of areas I think we are refactoring, and there's a lot of areas to come and do some great things. If you look into a product team, what you will see is in our organization, we have a series of sponsors. A sponsor owns an operational side of the business, and the product team is reporting to the sponsors. The tie point between tech and the business is the product team, so they tie into technology. Technology basically is organized as chapters. The chapters are based on skills, but the people in the chapters work in product teams. So essentially, day to day, you work in a product team. In a product team, you have a lead product owner who basically looks after a number of products. You have a product owner who looks after that specific product. You have a scrum master, and you have engineers. And typically you have, depending on the size of the product, anything between 6 to 12 engineers in a product team. And that's where they work day to day.
Something interesting you mentioned earlier is that you're working on an API framework. And we live in an API economy, as they say. Every company is trying to get this API first strategy going.
Yes.
How did you approach the implementation of this kind of API first strategy in your development teams? I
think we have to look at what we have and figure out how to get to where we want to get to. I mean, our end game is to start to have proper services. We're moving from an integration-led architecture to an API-led architecture. We're starting with exposing what you have via APIs and then starting to consume them. And then over time, we will start to then refactor what's underneath the API so it becomes more of a seamless service. How do you apply these AI solutions at MediaMarkt Saturn? Yeah, okay. So when I think about AI, I think about three things. I think about natural voice processing as one thing. I think about deep learning and advanced analytics. And I think about computer vision and object identification. So those are the three things I think about. And so for me, some of the use cases we've been working with is about natural language processing in our call centers. So when someone calls in, we use computers to help us then identify and help the customer. Now, it's got to be natural language and it's got to be context relevant. So you can't have, and it's not a bot. You can't have a call center or a bot in that area that actually doesn't have context, because people naturally ask questions. What would you say stands out from the engineering culture at MediaMarkt Saturn? What are the values that you propone here? The product teams are autonomous teams. They get on and solve problems. But I fundamentally believe that if at the end of the year you can look back and you can see your footsteps in the snow, then you know what you've done. And so I'd love for our product teams to be able to turn back and say, look, I did this, we did this, and we delivered this, and it's been awesome. And this is the feedback we got. Here's our star ratings. Here's what customers are saying about what we're doing. that's what we're looking for, because that's why we come to work. So for me, it's less about kind of pool tables and that sort of stuff. That's important too, to have, you know, people feel comfortable. But it's more about solving problems and then being recognised for it, and having the autonomy to then solve a problem the way you want to solve it.
You also already mentioned that money is usually not the biggest driver, which is definitely true. And actually what developers look at or look for in a new employer is the possibility to develop themselves professionally and learn new skills. So how do you how do you invest in the professional development of your developers and in teaching them new skills?
So we are doing a few things here. We were introducing a boot camp. We're introducing a technology university. So we're also introducing a lot of new things around self-learning, and we're giving people the time and the space to learn. Some of this is already in place and some of this is coming. And so there's a lot of investment that we do, but also there's a lot of encouragement we do to say, look, you know, go and learn something. You know, we'll give you the tools, we'll give you the mechanism to go and do it, and we'll give you the time, so people can go and experiment a little bit. So for me, these are the ways we're going to try and do it. I think an engineer who wants to learn will learn from their team leads. So if you have the right engineering structure, but also learn from just a passion to learn something new, to play with things. From a recruiting perspective, we do use engineers to hire engineers. That's kind of how we do it. So we have senior engineers and junior engineers, and they work with the recruiting team to make sure we bring people in. You know, we've been fairly successful because people like the story that we're on. An organisation, even as an engineer, you can join an organisation that is very successful, but actually it's just running. And it's pretty flat, and it runs and it operates, and it does a few things to kind of make things a bit different, but actually it runs quite well. Or you can join an organisation that's transforming. And therefore it's about the transformation, and it's about fundamental change. We are an organisation that is transforming. We are about fundamental change. That's why I joined this organisation, because it's about fundamental change. If you want to do exciting things in new and exciting ways, I would be here.
How would you convince me in, let's say, 30 seconds, 1 minute, to come work for you and to come work for MediaMarkt Saturn?
I think I'll say a couple of things. I'd say work for a company that is transforming through technology. That's what we're doing. And therefore, we are solving a lot of problems with tech. And tech is now such an important voice in this organisation. You have a voice, you have a strong voice, and you will solve problems for us using the latest innovative technology. We're investing in tech, we're putting money into it, we want the best solutions, we want the best technologists. And we're changing technology everywhere. So come and join us.
Well, I'm not a developer myself, but if I would be, you would have convinced me. So,
awesome.
So great job there.
If you know any, send them our way.
I will definitely let you know. So Atul, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciated the insights you gave us today.
Fabulous.
And yeah, I wish you all the best here at your technology adventure at MediaMarkt Saturn.
Thank you very much. It's great to talk to you all.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.